Concept number 23 is something very close to my heart. It is picking methods. And what I mean by that is how many ways you can pick a note. What are the 3 different kinds? Well, there's using your pick, of course, and there's using your fingers, and there's using your pick and your fingers. First thing I want to talk about is your actual pick. It's really important that you experiment with what pick you think sounds the best. I think the general concept that people have is maybe the thicker the pick, a little better sounding it's going to be because it's got more mass and it's a little warmer sounding. Of course, I think Stevie Ray Vaughan used medium picks, so what do I know? Generally speaking, for me, heavier picks sound better. I particularly like these Jazz 3 types because I like the little point on them. But it's up to you to find out what sounds best. So that's an experimentation. Just grab a handful of picks and just listen to tonally which ones sound the best to you. I'm always trying to find a pick that sounds closest to my fingers, so I like a really warm tone. Okay, so let's just hear that first. I'm just going to play a lick with my pick. All right, so I'm just using my basic picking. So I really like that kind of warm sound. Now I can use my fingers. Wow, much warmer sounding, right? So I use my pick quite a bit, and I use my fingers just as much, especially if I'm playing sort of little slower lines. Now I can just use my thumb. How much darker that is, much more round sound. Pick. Day and night, right? Now, if I go between 2 strings, a very common thing that guitar players will do is I'll put my pick right between my first and second finger, and then I'll have free use of my fingers. And here I'm alternating between my thumb and my first finger. It's really important the hand position of my pick hand on that. My thumb is parallel to my string as opposed to the sort of like this. If I have my thumb a little further back, I don't get a good shot at the string. So I'm going straight down, and this finger goes up. So one great little effect you can get is I'm snapping the string. I'm literally with both fingers pulling it up, letting it snap. I love that sound. So kind of a cool sound. If you listen to someone like Jeff Beck, he does not use a pick. Mark Knopfler does not use a pick. Those are 2 guitar players I really love because they get these great tonal variations. So I can also use my pick and fingers, and they call it hybrid picking. Personally, I find the smaller pick like this makes hybrid picking a little easier. Your mileage may vary, but I've gone through a bunch of picks to try to figure that out, and I like this the way this feels the best. Now, that's where I'm going to use the pick and my fingers. So say if I want to do like a cool little double stop lick. So I'm using the pick and my fingers to get both the notes. So I use all 3 of those methods because to me they all sound different. The brightest is going to be your pick, right? And then my fingers, and then both, right? So kind of mixed the 2 there. If you're going to play something really fast, maybe not your fingers. You would want to use the pick for that. I just found this to be really great. You're playing, say, like a slow blues, you want to bring down the volume, your fingers just sound great. As opposed to the pick. Much sharper attack, right? So those are things you want to take into consideration. When you hear all the great players, just watch them. You watch Clapton, you watch Beck or Hendrix. These guys will switch up their fingers on a pick. Like I said, Beck will only use his fingers, but a lot of great players will always put that pick right between the fingers and really start to dig in.